translation maubay, mas maubay siya nga translation kung tikang sa Greek, direct na mismo sa Tagalog. Kaysa damo angin.
However,
Hindi.
tell me what you think about this. A translation to Tagalog is better for the Philippines than no translation. Like if you have a worse or a bad translation, you think that's better than having no translation? You see what I'm saying?
Yes. So,
Your choices are have no translation or a bad translation. Which is better?
so ay na mas maubay. Waray translation or may na translation na maraot na translation? Ha?
Waray translation.
Waray ka mababasa.
Isa maraot na translation na
Waray translation ng Tagalog, meaning waray Tagalog na Bible.
Yes,
Pero may ada Tagalog Bible, pero medyo may mali na translation. Ay man mas maubay.
medyo mali lang.
May mali. Kung sa baga, worse meaning ang translation kung sa baga, kay o nag-agi. Pero, ang option, ang choices natin, ini, nga nang waray translation. Wala ko talaga.
Better to have, even if it's wrong, even if it's 100% accurate.
Okay, so one person I know says it's better to have.
Yes, all of them.
Okay, now here's the next question. I'm going to ask you the question, and then we'll take a break, and then after the break we'll talk about it. If the more accurate version came in 1973,
Kung mas ang more accurate na version, imabot na itong 1973,
but they had a version in 1593
kung may ada nila version duwat nga itong 1593,
from the Greek to the Latin to the Spanish to Tagalog.
tigang sa Greek, Latin, Spanish, Tagalog,
Here's the question.
o yung pagyana.
Did they have the Word of God in 1593 in their language? Don't answer me. Just think about it.
Okay. So, ang pagyana mo ini, may dadaba nila ulong sa Dios hatong 1593. May dadaba nila mensahe nga tigang sa Dios hatong
Here's the thing. If you say yes, they have the Word of God, do we need a more accurate translation? Right?
So, kung naintindihan niyo ha, mo ini ang iyang pagyana. Kung ini, kung sa baga, kung ini, words ini nga translation sa baga, so nato, itigang mo sa Greek, Latin, Spanish, and iba. So, ang pagyana, may dalawa natin pulong sa Dios na imabot natin. Kung may ada na kuno, if yes, kinanglan pa ba natin ini nga 1973 nga more accurate nga tigang sa Greek nga sa Tagalog.
So let's take a break and they can think about it and talk about it with each other.
Okay. Mag-break na kita, tapos aton ilustoryahan ito kung ano yung mga kwan. Di ba pakyan na siya? Then, you will have questions from the floor.
After the break.
Yes,
Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break, everybody. Break now. Yeah. That's good. Think about
Taon mo rin mga kaistoryahon sa hindi nga pwede mo ta. So pagka mo, sa didalay mo na siya ng istorya, imo ngayon na-realize na nga dako mga yan, di ba?
One time I had a chicken. So I had several chickens.
Kaya niya mga makumanukan.
And all of my hens came in at the end of the day to rest and sleep.
So kada kulo, ang mga ugang makadisaya para mapahuway, makatulog.
One of my hens was missing.
Then usa ka adlaw, usa sa iyang mga ugang nawala.
So I went to look for the hen.
So ipadto siya para pamilya mo din nga nawala niya nga ugang.
And I finally found her.
Then niya nakitaan.
There was some thick bushes just off the ground. And I looked underneath, maybe 3 or 4 meters back. And the hen was just sitting on the ground.
So yan nakita, sa dinangan pa niya, nakita niya, may ada matakbol nga kasigbutan, mga taas nga kuan, 3 meters. And then dito nakita niya sila, mga nakatungin dito niya ugang, nagpigda dito sa kuan, o nakatago na sila ron.
Usually my hens at the end of the day will fly up to a high branch to sleep. So they don't get killed by dogs.
Pero kasagaran, ang mga ugang talaga is nalupad nga sa sanga para dito makaturog. Para diri ka unod sa mga kayaman kung ano pa mga predators.
And so she wasn't moving. She was going to sleep on the ground, and I thought she'll die on the ground.
Pero wala siya dito, magkato dito siya sa galing sa may tuna, pero wala siya kung sa magkiwa.
So I went and I picked her up,
Kaya yung ikuha dito sa garum.
and I brought her to the other hens and set her up on the branch.
Hindi iya, tapos iya gindara, ibutan niya dito sa sanga nga kundi atuan iba pa ng mga ugang na hapon.
Now, if you think about the situation, there was something wrong with my hen, but I didn't know what it was.
Kung di mo una ng sitwasyon, kaya na problema sa iyang usang ugang, kundi iya maroon ano ini.
If I take my hen and put her on the branch, that's not actually going to fix the problem. There's some reason why the hen didn't fly.
So, kung iya kuha ko na itong ugang, dili ka ito niya dito sa sana, kundi ikaw po na iba pa ng mga ugang, dili ko nito siguro, nasunod na ang problema itong ugang.
I quickly looked over the hen and I didn't see any wounded wings or anything like that.
Iya kulawan ni mo ba ang ugang lawas, wala mang kung bisan ano nga kahabulan.
So I decided, well, I don't understand, and I went to bed.
So, hindi niya naintindihan kung ano ang problema itong manok. So, matulog na lang iya.
The next day, I went to check on my hens in the morning.
So, pagkabuwasan, iyang kumato siya para ihil ko niya, kulawan niya, ang itong ugang.
There was that hen, it had not left the branch.
May na dito ang ugang, waray bumaya dito sa sala.
All the other hens had gone.
Pero di ba mga ugang, wala na dito.
So I looked at the hen more closely.
So, iyang itutukan ko, titigan mo ni mo pa itong ugang.
It's all over that hen.
So, iyang baliktad pa pagkita.
What had happened was one of my dogs had attacked the hen, and his tooth had punctured the hen, and you couldn't see the puncture wound.
So, ang nagtabong ngayon, iya, kung may nangyayang, umatake itong ugang, tapos ang pakil itong ayaw, dumulog sa unod o sa lawas ng ugang, na hindi halos makita ang nadultad sa pangil.
What's my moral to the story?
So, ano ang moral lesson sa itong istorya?
Most things in life are a little bit more complicated than they look at a distance.
So may ada butang sa atong ginabuhi nga kung kulawin mo sa harayo, pag diri la dako ang problema.
You remember where we started in class?
So nainunduran niyo kung di sa nagtikam, hindi nga klase.
Here's where we started.
Hindi kita nagtikam.
God gives us the Bible.
Ang Diyos naghatag sa aton ni Biblia.
I believe this.
Totoo ako ini.
But if you look at it closer, it gets a little bit detailed.
So kung mo kita ni mo upay, di ninyo mo kinalidali.
I knew my hen was injured, but I didn't know how.
Mara mo pangarap kong ugang nahabol, pero di ako harap kong panano.
So it's not that this is not true, it's just it's more complicated when you look closer.
So di ka kasi kung nga diri din totoo, pero kung di mo totoo ka ni mo upay, di ninyo kumayari ang komplikasyon.
You understand?
Yeah.
So do you have any questions? We were talking about translations.
Okay, so may nakang pagkana kung mag-isgot ka, kung sa atong isgotan na translation.
What question do you have?
So ano yung pagkana? Okay, ano pagkana?
Since there is no original copy now,
Mm-hmm.
and you say that it does not mean that this is complicated. We could not really read the Bible. We believe that it is that. Now my question is, since that there is no original, how can we have a motto, Church of Christ, speak where the Bible is speaking? So the question is, how can we show?
Good question. You can translate if you want.
So ang pagkana ni Bratata, kung kita nga mga kay since wala rin ng original nga nawala man ang original sa usul sa mga sinulat, no? Ato niya na is wanala. Sinulat sa tingin sa mga sinulat, kopya tingin sa kinopya, no? Gikopya na, gikopyahan pa. Tapos naman, di kita sigurado kung hindi ba accurate good ba. So, yan na, kaya ang paborito natin nga motto sa Church of Christ na speak when the Bible speak and be silent if the Bible is silent. So, kagsimon, magyakan ka kung ang Biblia nagyakan. Hilom ka kung ang Biblia hilom. So, paano ini natin makasigurado?
The answer to the question is very, very simple to say, very difficult to do.
Ang baton sa pagkana, napakasimple lang yak nun, pero mapuri buhaton.
I'm going to write it down, and then we're going to do an activity together.
Okay. So, iya isusulat ang natong gibuhat inyo activity na.
The answer is simple.
Simple lang ang baton.
It's called trust.
Yeah.
Ang atong kinahanglan lang is pagtapo.
Now, here's the interesting thing about this.
Mo niya ang usa ka mga interesting nga butang na may tungod.
Trust is the core of all that we're talking about.
So, ang nila, ang kabutang mo dalaga nila is ang pagtapon.
I'm not asking you to trust God if you've never put your trust in God.
Diri ko kamugin si sari nga tapod kamo sa Dios kung diri niyo ibubutang ng iyo pagtapod sa Dios.
That's not how real trust works.
Diri to mo ang tunay nga pagtapod hin angay niyo pagtapod.
Real trust is something that's developed with time.
Ang totoo ko ng pagtapod ay nadidevelop ini sa panahon na, no, sa kaihaan.
The more time you spend with people, you know whether or not you can trust them or you cannot trust them.
Sa kaihaan mo pag-istorya sa usa ka tawo, makadesisyon ka kung angay ba siya katapuran o dili.
The more time you read the Word of God and see what it says and see how it impacts people in your life, you can decide whether or not you trust it or not. And I trust it.
Okay. So kung the more you read the Bible, pulong sa Diyos kuno, samtang magsige ka basa ni Biblia, and then di mo mapansin ang mga tao nga na-influensya hindi kung anong impact sa kinabuhi, makasiring ka, angay ubay ni tapuran ng Biblia.
Okay. So let's pick this table up and move it to the wall.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an activity. All the way to the wall. I need 5 volunteers.
5 ka mag-volunteer na ban. Sige, Brother Ruben.
5 volunteers.
Mga bata pa, mga bata.
Sige, sa natin na to.
Yeah. 5 volunteers. Okay.
5. So, din.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Isa pa.
One more.
Lima ka lang.
All right. Which one? Edwin, you'll help me. So, Bob, which one of you? Which one of you is the most trusting?
Sino sa iyo ang mas katatakuran?
You trust me. Who's the most trusting?
Sino ang pinaka-mas makatatakuran na iyo? Eh, ba yung program pa yung bata?
Okay, great. So you want to be our example of trust.
Okay, so ikaw ang magiging intro sa pagtapon.
Are you willing? You have to agree. Let's trust.
So,
Do you trust me?
Natapos ka ba sa iya?
So are you sure? Are you sure you trust me?
Sigurado ka ba?
You don't know me. Yeah, but he trusts me, right? So you trust me because he trusts me. Did y'all just catch that? Does that make sense? He is willing to trust me because he trusts Edwin, and Edwin trusts me.
Okay, mo yan niya, Juan. Si Bratata, andam siya tumapod o natapod siya sa iya, at tungod kay natapod siya sa akon, kaya ako natapod sa iya.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Stand right here, turn around. The rest of you come over here. You stand here, and you two stand right here. And Edwin, you can help too.
Yeah, yes.
Because I trust you.
Okay.
I don't know if I trust them. Okay, you stand right here. Get on the floor. You stand right here on the floor. You right here. Right here. On the floor. You right here. And then when you get in here wherever you need to, tell them to walk backwards. Step backwards. Now, here's how it works. This is really important. This is really important. You cannot bend your back or your legs, and you're going to fall backwards, and we're going to catch you. That's it. You have to trust us. Well, you've got me and you've got Edwin too. So Edwin, you get in the middle with them. You get in the middle. Slide in right here. Right here. Okay. And listen, I'm going to catch your head.
Bro, ano man siya? Sa salon. Alay! Ayan.
I'm going to catch your body.
So, niya ka, sa salon niya lang lawas.
Now I want everybody to listen to 2 questions I asked.
Pagkaya na, pamati kang sa pagkapagyan ng iyan,
On the count of 3, you're going to fall backwards. Put your arms over your chest.
tulo, ibibigay.
No, right here. No, you cannot bend your knees.
Bro, sagad. Ay, pagko na ha.
On the count of 3, you'll do this. On the count of 3. Now here's the question. This is really important. This is really important. You cannot bend your back or your legs, and you're going to fall backwards, and we're going to catch you. That's it. You have to trust us.
I don't trust them.
Well, hey, you got me and you got Edwin too. So Edwin, you get in the middle of them. You get in the middle. Slide in right here. Right here. Okay. And listen, I'm going to catch your head.
Bro, ano man siya? Sa salon. Ay, ayun. So, ano yan? Sa salon niya rin labas.
Now I want everybody to listen to two questions.
sige.
Pagkana, pamati kang sa mga pagkana ngayon, pagkana.
On the count of three, you're going to fall backwards. Put your arms over your chest.
Tulo, ibibilang.
No, right here. No, you cannot bend your knees.
Bro, sagad. Ay, pagkana ha?
On the count of three, you'll do this. On the count of three. Now here's the question. Do you trust us?
A little bit, I'm afraid.
Translated, do you trust us?
Pagkana niya, natapod ba ya?
And what did he say?
Iya siya rin. Gutela niya pagtapod.
Are you sure that we will catch you? Are you sure?
Sigurado ka ba nga pag mga sasalungan ka namon?
I don't know.
Bingo.
Doon siya sigurado.
He just answered his own question.
So, iya kibaton na an iyahang pagkana.
How can you be sure about the Bible?
Paano ka makasigurado may tungkol sa Biblia?
You can't be certain, but you can trust it. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot be certain,
Okay.
but you can trust it.
So, pwede ka maging sigurado pero dili ka makakatapon.
In Mark chapter 9, the man comes to Jesus and said, I believe, help my unbelief.
Sa Marcos Kapitulo 9, may dali tao nga nasiring di mo Ginoo to.
This is really important.
Oy bro, anay
This is really important. You cannot bend your back or your legs and you're going to fall backwards.
Gutela niya pagtapod.
Are you sure that we will catch you? Are you sure?
Sigurado ka ba nga pag mga sasalungan ka namon?
I don't know.
Bingo.
Doon siya sigurado.
He just answered his own question.
So, iya kibaton na an iyahang pagkana.
How can you be sure about the Bible?
Paano ka makasigurado may tungkol sa Biblia?
You can't be certain, but you can trust it. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot be certain,
Okay.
but you can trust it.
So, pwede ka maging sigurado pero dili ka makakatapon.
In Mark chapter 9, the man comes to Jesus and said, I believe, help my unbelief.
Sa Marcos Kapitulo 9, may dali tao nga nasiring di mo Ginoo to buligi ako hanapon diri pag kiging matinuohon.
So now 1, 2, 3. No trust. No trust.
I don't want to be a burden.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, that's good. All right. Let's move this back here. Real slowly. That's good.
Sarabutan po natin yung sira na patapon.
So, our lesson.
Yeah, ang leksyon naton,
Yeah, he wasn't certain and he did not trust us.
so dili siya sigurado kaya dili siya natapon sa amon.
But after time, he might trust us.
Pero bangin sa paglabay ng mga panahon, matapon na
Does
siya
that make
sa amon.
sense?
So, nintindihan niyo?
Yes.
So if you have doubts about the Bible, it's okay. It's okay.
Kung may kaya na kung paggraduhan may tungkol sa Biblia, okay lang ito.
I can only tell you that I trust the Bible.
Anak ko na masisiring ngayon nga natapon ako sa Biblia.
But if you have doubts, keep thinking about your doubts, and you can work through these doubts.
So kung may nagkapaggraduha, sige lang, kung na lang yung paggraduha, pero kayahanin eh, kung ito ni pa dahil pagkuhan, bangin mawala yung pagkayahan.
You're growing in faith.
Magtubog ka sa pagtuo.
Any other questions?
So may dagang mga pagkayana pa. Sige, Brad, sino pa? Okay, bro, pagkayana ka.
Dimuhan mo na bro.
Ha? Ang baton niya sa yung pagkayana, pinagi ito. Ikaw lang ahawan kumuhan. Butang eh. Oh, yeah, oh, sige. Oh, bro.
Hindi ako pa kaya na,
Oh.
tungkol kayo ng ugang, di ba?